see through the camera and everything. No, she killed it. 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 She crushed it. Yeah, she crushed it. Off the charts. I can't even tell you, you know what, prayer call? I can't even tell you what it was about because it was so much. We were in a flow state. Let me say it that way. We were in a flow state. And hey, what's up, Lynn? Got my Lynn in the building. Yeah, we were in a flow state. And so we were just going. We talked about everything. It was powerful. It was powerful. It was powerful. Like last night was one of those ones. Last night was one of those ones. Hey, what's up, Nat? Got Nat in the building. May, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, for, yeah, if you missed it, I'm telling you. But see, that's the beautiful thing about our community is that all of the live streams are archived inside of the community. So if you did miss the live stream, you can catch it inside of the Mindset Masters community. But you want to catch it. It's one of those ones that you want to catch. Get you some popcorn, get a soda, get some tea, get whatever it is that you do, and just sit back and prepare to have your mind blown. Like last night's live stream was powerful. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Hey, what's up, Barbie? So good to see you. So good to see you all. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Let's get rocking and rolling. You said, can I go? Stephanie, you said, can I go over the first time on Earth? Let me see if that's what he was asking me if I can do before I jump off the side of this bridge over here. You got to jump off the bridge and build your wings on the way down, man. Jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down. Stop trying to predict the outcome of things. Yeah, okay, I got you. Stephanie, I got you. So what he's asking me about is to cover something that I talked about. I opened the live up with yesterday, and you know, when you just think about it, you know, everyone is doing life for the very first time. When you look at all 8 billion people on the face of this earth currently, every single person is doing life for the very first time. Of course we're going to make mistakes. Of course you're going to fail. Of course you're going to stay in relationships past their expiration dates and all of those things. Of course you're going to doubt yourself from time to time. Of course you're not going to know how to use this quantum computer that we call our brain because we didn't get an instruction manual to this thing called life. There was no blueprint available to you when you showed up, right? And so when you start thinking from that perspective, you have to give yourself grace. You can't keep punishing yourself for all of the mistakes that you made in all of your yesterdays. You can't keep hanging on to yesterday's version of you and punishing yourself about decisions that you should have made that should have been different, or things, I wish I had done this and I wish I had done that. Everyone is doing life for the very first time. We don't have it all figured out. People are in the process of discovering who they are. Some people are on a spiritual journey. Some people are on the practice team, but everyone is doing life for the very first time. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. Be compassionate and understanding when it comes to you. You are doing the best that you can based upon what information you had access to when you arrived. Had you had access to better information, you would have made better decisions. But we're walking around and we're listening to everyone else and we're following other people and different things like that, even though they don't know any more than you do. right? And so when you look at people, that's why you should never place people on pedestals and all of these things above you, because everyone is doing life for the very first time. In the same way that you should give yourself some grace, give that to other people as well. But you also let people know, and you say this with your whole chest, you also let people know, listen, I'm doing life for the very first time. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. I'm going to probably place expectations or not live up to the expectations that you place on me. That's what life is. And that's how you raise that person's awareness in that moment. You let them know, listen, I'm doing life for the first time, man. I'm doing the best that I can with what I know. And you have to be able to give yourself that grace and love yourself in that moment to be able to say, I'm telling you God's truth right now. You're doing life for the very first time. And the last time I checked, you're doing a pretty good job. You're still here. Look at all of the things that you've gone through. Look at all of the failed relationships and the mistakes and the heartbreak and the setbacks and the obstacles and the roadblocks and the trauma and the chaos and the drama and everything that you've had to endure just to be where you are in this moment. I can make the argument you're doing a damn good job. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be either. Give yourself some grace. We're so hard on ourselves because you don't have life figured out. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment for the transformation to happen. You are exactly where you need to be. What's hurting you is that you think you should be further than you are right now. What's hurting you is the story that you're telling yourself that you should be more successful and you should be wealthier than you are right now and you should have this and you should have that. That's where your suffering is coming from. It's coming from the story that you're creating about where you think you should be versus where you actually are. That's what's hurting you. Reality is not hurting you. Society is not hurting you. God is not hurting you. No one's hurting you but the story that you create about where you think you should be, what you think you should have, the career you think you should have, the body you think you should have. That's what's hurting you. You're living out of some story versus living out of the reality of what's happening in your world right now. That's the only thing that matters, is what's happening in your reality in this moment. Not where you should be, not what shouldn't have happened, not this person shouldn't have done this to you. No, stop living out of the story. The story is what's hurting you, not reality is hurting you. God's not punishing, your story is. Well, let me qualify that, because your emotions live in the story that you tell yourself about what you think should be, about where you think you should be, about what you think you should have compared to what someone else has. That's what's hurting you. More than any person that you have ever called an enemy in your life, it's the story that you create. You create stories about reality. Every time that something happens to you, you create a story and you don't even realize that you're doing it. And when you create that story about what's happening with the traffic or that promotion that you didn't get or what someone said to you or whatever the case may be, everything outside of you is powerless. Things only have the power that you give them based upon the story that you create about what's happening in your reality. It is humanly impossible for you to experience a negative feeling without first telling yourself a story about the situation. Try it right now if you think I'm lying. Try to become angry right now without the story. No story, no stress. No story, no depression. No story, no unhappiness. You are the narrator of your life and you're producing all of your negative feelings based upon the story that you keep telling yourself about what's happening with your circumstances, what happened in all of your yesterdays, what's happening with your kids and your relationship and your job and all of those things. Stop telling stories that don't serve you. That's mastery. No story, no stress. No story, no depression. No story, no unhappiness. You have the power right now to stop telling yourself stories that work against you versus telling yourself stories that make you feel empowered. All of the power lives in you, but your negative feelings come through the story. The emotions live in the story, not in reality, in the story that you create about reality. Try it right now. I promise you, there's not a single negative feeling that you can experience without creating a story first about that experience. You've just been misusing your mind. You've turned your mind into your weakness and not your weapon. Bottom line, that's what self-awareness is going to teach you. I don't tell myself stories that don't serve me. Why would I do that? Why would I punish me? Why would I punish me about something that I don't even have the power or the ability to control? No, I tell myself stories about how amazing I am. I tell myself stories about how powerful I am. I tell myself stories about who I'm becoming, not who I used to be. I tell myself stories about whatever it is that's happening in my reality that I want to change, about me hitting the gym or me going to do this or me building this business or me building this company. I tell myself stories that serve me. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. The moment that you arrive at a situation that may not be favorable to you, you say this to yourself: do not add a story to this situation. What you have to understand is that your brain will follow whatever command you give it. But when you lack self-awareness, you don't know you have that power. So you allow your brain to create the story. When your brain creates the story, it unlocks the emotion. When it unlocks the emotion, now your vibrational frequency comes down, and now you become a reflection of the situation that you don't want. You become a reflection of the anger. You become a reflection of your frustration. You become a reflection of the depression. Why? Because the depression is connected to the situation, right? That's what it's connected to. But if I don't tell myself a story, I can't experience the depression. I can't experience the negative feelings if I don't create the story. I got to create the story, which means that I am the problem in my life, not the situation, not my circumstances, just me. Because I've got this PhD coach, but I don't know how to use my mind. I've got this MD coach, but I don't know how to use my mind. I've got a master's degree coach, but I don't know how to use my mind. Your degree taught you how to record information. It taught you how to receive information. Self-awareness is not information. It's not knowledge. It's not wisdom. It's not all of your theories and philosophies and all of these other things that you live by. It's not your level of education. It is spiritual intelligence at the highest level. Nothing to do with your degrees. That's the problem. Most people think that you got all of these degrees and certifications, that you're self-aware. No, you're more knowledgeable. It has nothing to do with self-awareness. I coach doctors and lawyers and some of the most powerful people on the planet. They are not self-aware. I coach pastors and preachers and all of these other people. They are not self-aware. Zero self-awareness. That's what's scary, and they're leading people. They're in leadership positions. Leadership positions, no awareness. Imagine that. A leadership position and no awareness. A leadership position and there's no awareness. So how can you take me to where you've never been yourself? I'm just asking. The number one indicator, I said number one, the number one indicator that someone is not self-aware is the fact that they'll try to project something negative onto you. Number one, that's the number one indicator. That's the first thing you look for. The number one indicator that a person is lacking self-awareness in that moment is that they're going to try to project the war that's going on within themselves onto you. Their anger onto you. Their frustration onto you. Their unhappiness onto you. Their rage onto you. It's number one. The same way when you're driving down the freeway. When you're driving down the freeway, and there's all of these barricades and flashing lights and all of those things. And the barricades and flashing lights are saying, road closed. That's what it says. The barricades say, road closed. This off-ramp you can no longer take. There's a reason for the barricades. There's a reason for all of the flashing lights, because if you go around that barricade, you're in trouble. But that's what we do when it comes to people. Their anger is the barricade. Their frustration is the barricade. Their rage and all of those things like that, that's the barricade. That's the flashing light that says, road closed. I'm under construction here. I'm not my highest and best self. If you come near me, I'm going to project what I am onto you. But no, coach, I'm a man of principle. No, coach, I don't allow people to disrespect me. No, you a fool. Because what you're teaching me in that moment is you're getting ready to become a reflection of what you react to. You're getting ready to become a reflection of what you're responding to in that moment. That's what you're going to be. You're not going to get ready to transform the way that this person thinks and turn this person into unconditional love in that moment. You're getting ready to become a reflection of the very thing that you're rejecting in that moment. That's all you're going to do, which means you have zero awareness as well. Period. No, coach, I'm a man of prayer. I don't let people disrespect me. No, you're a fool. Tell me about no principle. You become what you react to. Period. Again, the number one indicator that a person is not self-aware is the fact that they'll try and project something negative onto you. In that moment, walk away, because the person is a liability, not an asset to you. Period. There's nothing to explain. There's nothing to talk about. You don't need to prove a point. It's not the time. They've got the flashing lights on. They got the road closed sign going on. You trying to go around the barricade to prove your point to somebody because your ego is involved. That's how I know you lack self-awareness, because your ego is driving the car to who you are. You went around all of the barricades. You see this person's the emotional state of being and where they're at emotionally, and you still needed to prove your point. No, you lack awareness in that moment. You are not your highest and best self in that moment. You are disconnected from source energy in that moment. You are a reflection of your programming and conditioning in that moment. There's no power in you. The power was in your ability to walk away when the signs gave, when you had all of the signs that the road was closed. The road was closed. Hey, what's up, Monica? So good to see you. There's nothing to convince. There's nothing to prove. You never allow your I to argue with someone else's me. Are you kidding me right now? I said you never allow your I to argue with someone else's me. That's the most disrespectful thing you can do to you. Damn what they're talking about. You never allow your I to argue with someone else's me. And if you don't know what your I is your spiritual essence. Your I is the version of you that God created. Your I is source energy. Your I is who you really are underneath all of the labels that you carry, underneath the versions of yourself that you have created so that you could sell some version of you to the world. That's your I. Your I is the witness. It's never been wounded. It's never been hurt. It's never been touched. It's never been disrespected. It's never been lied to. It's never been abused or in any type of way. That's what your I is. That's the version of me that I operate out of, my I. Your me is your persona. Your me is your ego. Your me is your reputation. Your me is the version of yourself that you created so that you could fit into society and so that people would appreciate you and they would respect you and they would see you. Your me is the version of you that's always trying to prove your worth to someone, and you want people to think that you're successful and all of these other things. That's your me. So when you're dealing with that person, you're arguing with that person and they're operating out of their me. Self-awareness transforms you into the I. So when a fully self-aware person would never sit and argue with someone else that's operating out of their me, they would just never do it. They would never do it. It would never happen. It would never happen. Ever. Ever. Not like maybe one day, never. It would never happen. The same way that you would never go, I would hope that you would never take that off-ramp when that off-ramp is telling you roll closed, there's 80 barricades out there, there's lights, helicopters going off, you still trying to get off the freeway. There's nothing to prove here. This person is in pain. That part right there, come on, Nat, you speak in two completely different languages. You're speaking a language that they don't even understand. In fact, there's nothing to understand. You understand what they don't understand. You can meet that person where they are, but they can never meet you where you are. That's why God expects you to be the bigger person in that situation, because that person doesn't understand what you already know. You're looking at that person because they're a reflection of who you used to be. Come on, you didn't even catch that. You didn't even catch that. The person is a reflection of who you used to be, not who you are in this moment, who you used to be. They're reflecting back. They're showing you just how much you've grown. And you cancel out all of that the moment that you respond to that. They're showing you who you used to be, because the version of you that you used to be would have got into it with the person. You know it and I know it. Does that make sense? I'm telling you, the baddest thing walking. I keep telling you that. You the baddest thing walking. I'm telling you. Baddest, I said. It's not a play on words. We ain't got time to be playing. You the baddest thing walking. I said the baddest. Mean that with everything I've got in me. But that's not on that. Again, never allow your I to argue with someone else's me, ever. That's the most disrespectful thing that you can do to you. It's not about the person. Never allow your I to argue with someone else's me. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent. If you driving down the freeway in a Rolls Royce, you pull off to go get some gas. You got a $500,000 Rolls Royce. You pull off to go get some gas. You see a person that you went to high school with. They was your best friend in high school, but you haven't seen this person in years. And they tell you, let's trade cars for a day. They're driving around in a Honda Accord, you in the Rolls Royce. They tell you, let's trade cars for a day. That's a bad trade. You getting ready to jump out of this $500,000 Rolls Royce to jump into a $15,000 Honda Accord. That's a bad trade. What you talking about? You getting ready to trade. They're the only ones benefiting in that moment. So when you start encountering people in life, you are the Rolls Royce for your life. When you start encountering all of these Honda Accord caliber people, they're not where you are mentally. They're not where you are spiritually. They're not where you are emotionally. What you talking about? You get ready to trade with this person. You get ready to become a reflection of the Honda Accord? That's what you're telling me? You're going from Rolls Royce level to Honda Accord level? That's what you're saying? I'm just asking. That's literally like the person in the Rolls Royce trying to prove his worth to the person in the Honda Accord. You don't see how foolish that looks? Just really look and think about what I'm saying. Think about how foolish I would look. I'm sitting here in the Rolls Royce, you in the Honda Accord, and I'm trying to prove my value to you. Really? All right, let's move on. That's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Even the Rolls Royce will be like, man, come on, man. You got to step your game up, man. I let you have access to me, but you got to step your game up, big dog. Let me say this. So we're moving on from that. I think everybody got the point there. We're moving on from that. Because we got more important things we need to cover. The only happiness you will ever find in your relationships is the happiness that you brought there. I said the only happiness that you will ever find in all of your relationships is the happiness that you brought there. If you didn't bring happiness, don't expect to find it. If you didn't bring love, don't expect to find it. If you didn't bring joy and peace, don't expect to find it. What you will find is what you brought. You won't find what's missing. You will only find what you bring. Think about what I'm saying. If you think about what I'm saying, you'll understand. The only happiness that you will ever find in your relationships is the happiness that you brought there. And if you didn't bring any happiness, that's probably why you're unhappy in this moment with your relationship. That's why you're unhappy with the job. You only find what you bring in life. That's how reality works. That's why self-awareness is so important, because you'll understand that. You're only going to find what you bring. Think about what I'm saying. Listen with your spiritual mind, not with your programming and conditioning. Listen with your spiritual mind and not with your triggers. What you give the present moment, it will give you back. But if I didn't bring anything, I can't expect anything. So let's say I'm getting ready to go camping, right? I'm getting ready to go camping. Let me tell you how reality works. I'm getting ready to go camping. And where I'm going camping is in some remote area. There's nothing out there. Beautiful scenery. But there's no stores, there's no supermarkets, there's nothing. And I forgot to pack my toothbrush and toothpaste. I forgot. I packed everything else, but I forgot about that. When I get out to the middle of the forest, I'm not going to find a toothbrush and toothpaste. I didn't bring it, so it's not there. I can look under all of the rocks. I can look behind the trees. I can do all of those things. I will never find it because I didn't bring it. Think about your relationships like that. You will only find what you bring. If you didn't bring it, don't expect to find it. Because happiness will never be anywhere outside of you. It's always where you are. So if it wasn't at your start point, it won't be at your finish line either. If love wasn't at the start point, it won't be at the, I can qualify that. Think about a person that's sitting in the room and they're upset, or they're frustrated, or they're unhappy. It doesn't matter where you take that person in that moment. The happiness or unhappiness is in them. Anger is in them. Depression is in them. You can take them to the party. You can take them to the pool. You can take them whatever. But love wasn't in them. Happiness wasn't in them. And they won't find it when they get to this other location. No matter what you say, no matter what you do in that moment. They were operating out of a different vibrational frequency in that moment. That's what they were. So in that moment, they were unhappy. They were sad. They were whatever the case may be. You can change the location all you want. It's not going to change what they're feeling internally. Does that make sense? Again, everything is predicated on what you bring. What are you bringing? Not what you're looking for. What are you bringing? All right. I see you, Liz. Kels, what's up, Mama? So good to see you. So this is important. This is the most important part of the live right here. What I'm getting ready to say right now. Most important, most important, most important. I need you to listen. I need you just for a moment, just to listen with your spiritual mind, right? Set your programming and conditioning down for just a second. Set your ego and your pride down for just a second. You can pick it back up in a minute, but just set everything down for a minute. And for a moment, I just need you to think about you. I need you to be the most selfish person in the world right now, because I just need you to think about you, which is a beautiful thing because most of us don't do that. Just think about you for just a moment. Block everyone else out of your mind, because if you don't, you won't hear this message. And some of you guys, somebody on this live right now needs to hear this message. God will isolate you to save you. I want you to think about that. God will isolate you to save you from you. Because the version of yourself that you were was the complete opposite of the version of yourself that He created you to be. I said the version of yourself that you were was the complete opposite of the version of you that He created you to be. And you were always powerful. You were always influential, but you were misusing the gift. You were misusing the talent. You were misusing all of these beautiful qualities, traits, and attributes that He had given you. You were misusing it at the time. And you know that. Be honest with yourself right now. You don't have to be honest with me. You don't owe me that. I just need you to sit with that with you. And again, you were always very powerful. You were influential, but you were using the power that He gave you in the wrong way. So He put you in a state of isolation so that you could outgrow the version of yourself that you had become. That's why He did it. He put you in a state of isolation so that you could outgrow the version of yourself that you had become. And you began to outgrow everything around you to the point where nothing would look familiar anymore. That's how much you started to grow. You started to see the people for who they were. You started to see the mistakes you were making. You started to see certain things. You were outgrowing that version of you. And you were seeing just how much people were draining you and taking from you and all of these other things. You started to see that. So much so that the people that you were around and all of those things, they weren't even familiar vibrationally and energetically. You were no longer a connection or a match for those people. But you would have never saw that had He not taken you and putting you in that place of isolation. You'd have never seen it because you were too busy being in the water to step outside of it. And your anointing is so important that it has to be guarded. I said your anointing is so important and so powerful that it has to be guarded. That's why He did it. Because your anointing is too powerful. So He had to remove you. And you're getting to the point where you can be in a room filled with people and still feel alone. People's company just doesn't move the needle like that for you. It's not that you're better and they're worse or anything like that. It has nothing to do with better or worse. It's that where you operate from vibrationally The gift that's in you, it hovers above the people that you're around. The people that you're around, you're not impressed by that anymore. You're not moved by that. You've grown, you've evolved, you've elevated to such a degree to where going to parties and going to the club and going to all of the things that you used to love doing, the conversations you used to entertain for hours on end and all of that no longer move you. You have nothing to prove there. It's like your work is finished there. That version of you is gone. God won't let you be familiar with people because your gift is too powerful. That part I need you to catch. I said, God will not allow you to become familiar with all of these people because your gift is too powerful. I'm telling you now. He has a perimeter fence around you. In case you don't know it, can you see the perimeter fence? No, you can't, but it's there. There are certain people that he's going to make sure you miss because your anointing is too powerful. The gift that you carry is too powerful. He did not create you for everyone else. He created you for him. Let's never lose sight of that. It's not about them. It was never about them and they and all of that. That's your programmed mind thinking that. Again, God won't let you be familiar with people because your gift is too powerful. So you have to get used to walking alone. You have to get used to walking alone. Even in your relationship, some of you guys still feel alone. Even in your current relationship right now, you still feel alone. Does anyone know what the word alone means in awareness? It's okay if you don't. Type no in the comments if you don't. Okay, Tracy. Okay. I see. Got it. Okay, Sticky. Got it. In awareness, the word alone is comprised of two words in awareness. All one. You are connected. It's all one. You are source energy. You're all one. You are the divine in human form. You're all one. Consciousness, you're all one. You're all one. You're never alone. The word alone in awareness, again, it's comprised of two words. All one. There is no alone. You're not alone. That's a thought that you're entertaining in that moment that makes you feel disconnected. The moment that you become self-aware, you'll understand that I'm never alone. I am consciousness. I am the divine in human form. I am connected to the Creator. I do have a purpose in life. I am becoming the most powerful and greatest version of myself. I am that asset. I am the experience. I am the love that I have been seeking. I am the happiness. I am the joy. I am the destination. I am the goal. I am the path. I am the light. I am the blessing. I am the answer. I am the cure. I am. Period. Because that's what happens when you become self-aware. When you become self-aware, you become the medicine. You become the answer. You become the blessing. You become the solution. You become the cure to all of the people that you are an energetic match to. right? To all of the people that were once where you used to be before you started that journey, right? The version of you that you were before you ever started that journey, those are the people that you're going to attract into your life. You won't attract people that are an energetic match to me. Only I will attract people that walk that path and that move through life the way that I did. But you will attract people into your life that have a similar background. That's why they're going to connect with you. They're going to resonate with you because because that person is a reflection of who you used to be. And you're going to give them all of the steps and all of the blueprints. And that's how people become unlocked. That's how you're becoming unlocked. That part right there. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. That makes sense? So one more time, God will isolate you to save you because the version of yourself that you were was the complete opposite of the version of yourself that he created you to be. And you were always very powerful and influential. You were always that person. But you were just utilizing that gift and that skill and that ability that you have in the wrong direction. You were going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. I can tell you that personally. I was going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. Always been powerful, always been influential, always been all of these things. But I was moving in the wrong direction. And that's fine. Because again, like I said, life doesn't come with an instruction manual. We're all doing life for the very first time. Every single person in this chat room right now was all doing life for the very first time. All of us. So we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fail. We're going to follow people that we shouldn't be following and all of these other things like that. You're going to make the mistakes, man. You got to give yourself some grace. I did that. It's when he comes and taps you on that shoulder and says it's time to go. That's when you know. So he put you in a state of isolation so that you could outgrow the version of yourself that you had become. That's why you got placed in a state of isolation so that you could outgrow who you used to be. And you could start the process of transforming into who he ultimately wants you to be for him. One more time, he created you for him, not for them. That's a powerful place to be in when you get there mentally, when you understand that he created you for him, not for them. I don't care who your them is. He created you for him. People are lucky to have access to you, and you have failed them if you don't make that abundantly clear. I appreciate the gifts, you guys. I said people are lucky to have access to you, and you have failed them if you don't make that abundantly clear. No more allowing people to show you twice what they've already shown you once. We don't have time for that. No more allowing people to fumble you and then come back with all of the I'm sorry's and I'll never do it again. Now, you don't want to hear that because the version of them that gave them the ability to do that in the beginning still lives in their mind. Don't ever lose sight of that. Don't ever lose sight of that. The version of them that gave them the ability, people don't fumble what they value. Don't ever forget that. People do not fumble what they value. People fumble what they don't value. So when you allowing this person to show you twice what they've already shown you once, understand that in that moment, the version of them that did whatever it is they did still lives in their mind. Still lives in their mind. So if this person didn't have brain surgery and have that version of them removed, what's going to happen when something triggers that person to become that version of themselves again? You only time you know a person, the only thing you know about people is who they are in your presence. You don't know who they are in your absence. Let me say that one more time. That should scare you or ignite you. The only thing you know about people is who they are in your presence. Inside of every person you know, there's a version of them that you don't know. It's the version of them that you don't know that's the biggest problem in your life. And you don't even know it's a problem right now. Because that version of them only emerges when you're not around. You got to understand the 99 versus the 1. See, this is awareness 101 right here. The 99 versus the 1 is simple. A person will be comfortable telling you 99% about everything that's going on in their world. They're going to tell you the whole 99. It's the 1% that they don't tell you that causes the relationship to be destroyed. It's the 1 versus the 99. Now, a mathematician would tell you that 1 can never be greater than 99, but in awareness it is, because it's what they didn't tell you, which is where all of the power lives. Whatever they're telling you in that moment is what they're comfortable telling you. It's what you don't tell me that hurts me. Not what you told me. I don't even want to hear about what you told me. It's what you withheld from me. Because whatever you didn't tell me was powerful. Whatever you didn't tell me, you knew in that moment would have shifted my whole perception of you. That's why you didn't tell me. And here's what's crazy. You'll meet that 1%. Yeah, you're going to meet the 1%, but you're going to meet the 1% after you fall in love with the person. That's when the 1% emerges. Once they already know you've fallen in love, here comes that 1%. You like, wait, where did all of this come from? 1 versus the 99 is powerful. Understand that when you're in contact, when you come in contact with a person for the very first time, that whatever it is they're telling you, it's only the 99. It's that 1% that they did not tell you, the significant other that they're still in love with that they never told you about, the divorce that they're going through in that moment, even though they're telling you that they're single. You know, the fact that they've got some kid or whatever the case may be on the other side of town, whatever it is that's going on, the fact that they're telling you about their career and all of these other things like that, even though they're between jobs in that moment. It's the 1% that they don't tell you that would shift your whole perception of that person. That's why they don't tell you. And they know about that. I'm telling you, the 1% versus the 99 is powerful. That should scare you or ignite you. That's why I say you got to be careful, man, adding all these people to your life. Especially if you're on that journey, on that spiritual awakening journey, man, you got to be careful with that. Super careful with that. Super careful with that. Super careful with that. Let me say this. The pain you're avoiding is the entry fee to the life you want. You got to tell me you know that. I said the pain you're avoiding is the entry fee to the life you want. Nobody ever tells us that. It is. It's the entry fee. Because your lowest point is the doorway to your highest self. I said your lowest point is the doorway to your highest self. It's the suffering that leads you to awareness. It's the suffering that leads you to the transformation. It's the suffering that leads you everywhere. It's not coming from all of the beautiful moments in your life. It's coming from all of the ugly. All of the ugly is what got you here to this live right now. Not your trips to Disneyland, not how many times you went to the barbecue, not all of the pool parties and all of that wouldn't have brought you here. It's all of the ugly that you've experienced that brought you to this moment. And in your mind, let me tell you what you're thinking if this is your first time on this live. I just stumbled up on this live. I just was scrolling on the live and I fell into your live stream, coach. This was the very first time. Now, you didn't fall into anything. You were called here because there's something that's supposed to happen with your life. I don't know what it is, but there's a calling on your life and you were sent here. You think it happened by coincidence. The thought didn't come from you. We're not going to talk about that. The thought never came from you. Your thoughts don't come from you. They come from something outside of you. You've never had a single thought that comes from you. Your thinking does come from you. Your thoughts, no. The thought doesn't come from you. The universe gave you the thought. God gave you the thought. Reality gave you the thought. Consciousness gave you the thought. You place any source energy, place any label you want on it. The thought doesn't come from you. It's alignment. Let me say that one more time. The pain you're avoiding is the entry fee to the life you want. Because your lowest point is the doorway to your highest self. You've got to understand cliff top and rock bottom. You got to understand that. Let me personalize it. I was operating out of both cliff top and rock bottom. Let me tell you what that means. Cliff top means that you're at the highest level of success. You got the cars, you got the clothes, you got the mansions, you got the jewelry, you got the trappings of success all around you. But you feel empty in that moment. And then you've got rock bottom. And rock bottom is just, you just feel like you're at the worst of the worst, where nothing is going the way that you want it to go. But that's actually the best place for you to be. So I'm at cliff top, but I have a rock bottom mindset in that moment. I feel empty. I feel like something is missing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life in that moment. I didn't have the awareness. I wasn't this version of myself. So I was the lowest version of me, but I was the highest version of me with respect to what society's perception of me was. In other words, had you seen me at a gas station or at a coffee shop or somewhere like that, you would have looked at me in that moment and be like, man, that dude's got it all together. That's what you would have thought. That's what you would have thought. There'd have been no different way that you would have walked away from that. You seeing Ferraris, you seeing Lamborghinis, you seeing mansions, you seeing all of these things. But I was empty internally. So I was at rock bottom with respect to my emotional state of being, with respect to self-awareness. I'm at rock bottom, but I'm at cliff top with respect to society's perception of me. So just imagine what I'm going through in that moment when I have everything that you could want to have access to, and you still feel like you're missing something. You still can't, you're not happy. That's what I'm saying. Why? Because I wasn't in alignment. If you're out of alignment, I don't care what you add to yourself. You're not going to be happy when you're not spiritually aligned. I don't care how many careers and certifications you have. I don't care how many degrees you have. When you're not spiritually aligned, when you're not operating out of the version of you that God created, I don't care what you add to yourself from an external perspective, you will not be happy. I can promise you that. You can go get all the degrees in the world. You can go get 50 PhDs. You still won't be happy because you're out of alignment. Only wholeness brings you happiness. Don't ever forget that. Wholeness brings you happiness. You want whole. If you're not whole right now, it's humanly impossible for you to tell me that you're happy if you're not whole. Wholeness is the byproduct of happiness. That makes sense? Here's the thing. Let me say that one more time. The pain that you're avoiding is the entry fee to the life you want, because your lowest point is the doorway to your highest self. Your lowest point is the doorway to your highest self. That's so important for us to understand. That's number one. Number two, because in the absence of light, it's how you learn how to become light. In the absence of light is how you learn how to become light. Stop resisting what is trying to pull you into a deeper awareness of yourself. Some of you guys are resisting. Some of you guys are resisting right now. You're resisting. And let me tell you what you're resisting. Let me tell you what's happening to you. There's a version of yourself, not that God created, that you created. And what you don't want to let go of is the version of yourself that you created. You don't want to let go of that person. You're not ready to surrender that person, even though that version of you doesn't bring happiness to your life. And the reason why you're afraid to let go of that version of you, because you don't know what's on the opposite side if you let go. And so you're trying to predict something that you don't have the ability to predict. You don't know what's on the opposite side of uncertainty. You don't know what's there. And because you don't know what's there, you hang on to what's familiar, because that's what your programmed mind has taught you what to do. You're hanging on to what's familiar to you. You want to let go, but at the same time, when you let go, you don't know. You're ready to surrender, but at the same time, you're still clinging to something that no longer serves you. The current version of you can't take you any further than you already are. Not spiritually, they can't. Right? So what I need you to understand is this. It's not the unknown that you fear. What you fear is the loss of the known. That's what you fear. It's humanly impossible for you to fear the unknown. You can't be afraid of something that you don't know what it is that you're afraid of in that moment. That's not what's happening to you. What you're afraid of is the loss of the known. That's what's keeping you stuck. It's humanly impossible for you to be afraid of the unknown. There's nothing to be afraid of. You don't even know what you're experiencing. There's nothing to be afraid of. What you're afraid of is letting go of who you've been familiar with this entire time. That's where the fear is coming in at. That's what's keeping you stuck at the same time, though. You don't want to let go of that version of you and just surrender. You wake up every single day and you decide who you are. You wake up every single day and you decide who you are. What do you think about that decision? Is that a decision that you're making that's aligned with who you are? Or is that a decision that you're making that's aligned with who God wants you to be? Because those are two different people, two different versions. One is going to drain you. The other is going to give you energy. Again, you wake up every single day and you decide who you are. And sometimes we decide who we're not. Sometimes we pretend, right? We walk around and we do all of this pretending and all of that. Pretending to be this and pretending to be that. Now, right now, it's about alignment. Everything now is about alignment. Being spiritually aligned, being emotionally aligned. Right? Everything is about alignment now. No more the pretending won't get you there anymore. That's what I was doing. I was pretending. Your breakthrough isn't behind your busy schedule. It's behind the decision that you're afraid to make. Sit with that. Your breakthrough isn't behind your busy schedule. It's behind the decision that you're afraid to make. That's powerful. Sit with that. You're hiding behind the busy schedule because it's a distraction. You're hiding behind the relationship because it's a distraction. You're hiding around all of the things that you got going on in the external world because it's a distraction. But the breakthrough isn't going to come behind all of that. It's going to come behind that decision that you're afraid to make. The decision that you know you need to make right now, but you're avoiding for whatever the reason. I tell you guys this all the time. The heaviest things in life are not iron and stone. The heaviest things in life are unmade decisions. You have some decisions that you need to make that would shift everything if you would make them. You're not making them because you fear the unknown. Even though you don't have the ability to fear the unknown, it's just a story that you're telling yourself. What you fear, one more time, is the loss of the loan. You're not ready to give up what you know, what you've become familiar with. That's where you're stuck. That's where you're stuck. You have to stop allowing your comfort zone to negotiate the price of your potential. Stop allowing your comfort zone to negotiate the price of your potential. Period. Let me say this. Your breakthrough doesn't just come from self-awareness. It comes from the decision to move differently. Let me say that one more time. Your breakthrough doesn't just come from self-awareness. It comes from the decision to move differently. In this moment right now, you have an opportunity to make a decision to move differently with your life. What's holding you back is your procrastination. What's holding you back is yesterday's version of you. What's holding you back is your fear of the unknown, even though what you're doing is projecting what you're familiar with onto the future, which is producing all of your fear. You have to make a decision in this moment to move differently and to be in alignment with everything that you know God wants you to be. That's a decision that you have to make. You are one decision away from the best decision you have ever made in your life, but you're also one decision away from the worst decision. And the worst decision is to continue to operate out of a version of yourself that can't bring you unconditional love, that can't bring you the happiness like you wanted, that can't bring you the peace and the joy and all of those things. Make the decision for you. Don't make the decision based upon what you think and how it's going to benefit someone else. See, we sometimes in life, we stay stuck in relationships and situations because we don't want to disappoint other people. We don't want to hurt other people. So we stay in things longer than we should have. We stay in relationships past their expiration dates because we're always thinking from the perspective of how it benefits someone else or how it's going to impact someone else. You have to be greedy with yourself now so that you can become generous later. You've got to be greedy now so that you can become generous later. I had to do that. And it's hard, but you got to do it. And don't give me, oh, coach, that's easier said than done. Easier said than done is a story that you tell yourself so that you can hang on to your limitations. That part right there. I said easier said than done. It's a story that you tell yourself so that you can hang on to your limitations. It's a story that you tell yourself so that you can hang on to your comfort zone. It's a story that you tell yourself so that you can continue to hang on to who you used to be. And so that you don't have to walk and start the process of becoming what God has created you to be. So we say, oh, coach, that's easier said than done. No, that's the excuse that you apply in that moment so that you can hang on to the comfort zone. You got to cut all of that. The most powerful version of you would never say that because the most powerful version of you understands it's about putting it into work. I got to put it into work on me. There's a version of me that I have yet to meet. There's no way that I'm not going to meet that person. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. There's no way that I don't ever transform into the greatest version of myself. There's no way that I don't live up to the potential that God sees in me. No way, no way, no way. You got to get out of that mindset quick. Again, the heaviest things in life are not iron and stone. The heaviest things in life are the decisions that you haven't made that you need to make right now. And you already know what they are. And you've been on the fence for quite some time trying to figure out how to pull the trigger. You just haven't had the courage to pull the trigger. And the reason why you haven't had the courage to pull the trigger is because you're too busy thinking about how your decision is going to benefit other people or impact other people. Not benefit them, but impact them. And that's what's keeping the majority of the people on this live right now stuck. You're too focused on what your decision is going to do for someone else and how it's going to benefit them. No one's going to lose you because they were never yours to begin with, or you were never theirs to begin with. I'm just being for real. Let me ask you the most important question. Not the most important question, but an important question. Super important. Does anyone know what it means when a person feels lost? What does that mean? Let me see how self-aware you are. What does it mean when a person feels lost? What does that mean specifically? Somebody says stuck. I see you, Mila. Lack of planning and understanding, no direction, not being where your feet are. I know you've been hanging out with me, love. Not aware. I like that. Not aligned, not connected to self, unaware, no map, no structure. I like that. Self-abandoned. I like that. Disconnected from spiritual essence. Like that. Finding yourself. Don't know who they are. I like that. Out of alignment with reality. Love that. You guys are, if I didn't have my answer, I would borrow all of the answers that you guys have thrown out. I love all of the comments. All of the comments. Be proud of yourselves right now. Be so proud of yourselves right now. Celebrate yourself right now. I love everything. I love all of it. But let me tell you what it means. In awareness, feeling lost means that you're ready for something real. In awareness, feeling lost means that you're ready for something real. That there's been a little bit too much pretending going on in your life. A little bit too many illusions going on. Too many falsehoods going on. Right? It's just a little bit too much fakeness, for lack of better phraseology, going on. Feeling lost in awareness means that you need to break free from what no longer serves you. Feeling lost in awareness means that it's your soul's way of saying that things need to change immediately. Let me break that down for you. Let me break that down. Walk with me here, please. If I take you to the middle of the forest and I drop you off, I would completely understand you feeling lost in that moment. You don't know where you are. There's no cell phone towers. You can't get a signal, right? You don't know where you are. There's trees around you and everything like that. You're like, Coach, I don't know where I am. I'm lost. That would make sense to me. But you have people that are just as lost as though they are in the forest, but they're sitting in their home. You know exactly where you are. But spiritually, you're lost. Emotionally, you're lost. Energetically, you're not aligned with the divine in you. So you're just as lost as the person that's out in the middle of the forest somewhere. Just as lost. And you're trying to find your way the same way that that person in the forest would. You've been searching and searching and searching and searching, and you're trying to find your way. The problem is that you're not physically lost. You're sitting in your living room or in your bedroom or at the office right now. But mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, energetically, you are. That's the problem. Most people that you encounter are lost. Not lost, they don't know where they're standing. Lost, they don't know what they are. They're disconnected from what they are. Does that make sense? And that's a lot, and that's okay. That's okay, right? I was lost. No one might tell you my address, but I was lost. Anytime that you're not connected to your divine essence, you are lost. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, Doesn't mean something's wrong with you. No, you're just disconnected in that moment. You're disconnected from your power. You're disconnected from source energy. You're disconnected from what you are. You've been chasing all of these material things and trying to add things to yourself to make you feel whole and to make you feel complete. And you're running out of things to add to yourself to make you feel whole and make you feel complete. And yes, those things give you temporary joy. And yes, they'll give you temporary excitement. But then the feeling goes away from the things that you continue to add to your life. Why? Because you're lost. And you're trying to purchase your way and shop your way and relationship your way to wholeness. And it doesn't work that way. Does that make sense? That's okay. That's okay. Only through awareness. Only through awareness. You just have to, that's why I said you just have to continue to do the inner work. You got to continue to do the work. You got to continue to do the work. It's about you. Work on yourself the same way you would a business. Work on yourself the same way you do on a home that you're trying to refurbish or whatever the case may be. Work on yourself. Do the work on you. I put in the work. Repetition is the mother of mastery. I spend hours a day. You're not going to get there working on yourself 30 minutes a day. You're not going to get there working on yourself occasionally. You're not going to get there when you can find the time. It's not going to work for you that way. You have to become obsessed with becoming the greatest version of yourself. And understand that no matter what you add to your life, it will not make you feel whole. The happiness won't come from some external perspective. Love is not going to come from some external perspective. Joy and peace won't come from some external perspective. It's going to come from you. Unconditional love is the greatest gift that you will ever give yourself. Ever, 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 ever. Better than a million relationships, better than a million houses, better than a million cars, better than everything. Because in that moment, you'll understand that I am already complete. I'm not missing anything. I don't need anything. Nothing. I'm fine. I've got everything I need. There's a version of yourself that has everything they need. And only you can unlock that version of you by watering yourself with the self-awareness. You got to water you, man. You're not watering you. You watering other people. Watering the job. See, we'll go and spend 8 to 10 hours a day working on the job, but you will spend 30 minutes working on yourself. Make that make sense for me. Just make it make sense for me. I ain't asking you to change anything. We'll go and spend 8 hours working at somebody else's business or come home and spend 30 minutes working on ourselves. Maybe. But then you'll binge watch Netflix for 4 hours. Just make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's the problem. Again, feeling lost in awareness is your soul's way of saying that things need to change immediately. Feeling lost in awareness is your soul's way of saying, not my way of saying, not your neighbor's way of saying. It's your soul's way of saying that things need to change immediately. There's some things that are happening in your life and I don't know what they are and I don't pretend to know. But you know, there's some things happening in your life right now that need to change immediately. Your daily routines, your daily habits, all of these things that you have going on, whatever your standards are, aren't equating to the life that you want. It's time for things to change. And if nothing changes, then nothing changes. You add something better. To make your today better, you got to add something new to it. To make your tomorrow better, you got to add something new to you. And continue to add something new to you. Every time I add something new to me, I change, I transform somehow, some way. No, that's a beautiful thing. You're saying that you don't know. No. She said, I don't know what I want. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Somebody tell me why that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Donick, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. There's nothing to be sad about with that. Yeah, somebody said no expectations. Oops, that was a good one. No expectations. Time to think. Somebody said time to think. Get to thinking. Possibilities are endless. Yep, that part right there. In the book, yep, I like all of those answers. All of the answers. All of the answers I like. I'll tell you why. Or I'll tell you. So here's the thing. Make your goal to become the most powerful version of you. Make your goal to become the happiest version of you. Make your goal to become the most confident version of you. And when you reach that place, you'll have a different perspective in that moment, and then you'll know what move you need to make. But if you don't even get there, you can't get anywhere, because all of those things you're in possession of right now, but you're disconnected from them energetically. They're operating on a different frequency than the frequency that you're operating out of right now, based upon certain thoughts that you're entertaining, based upon you living out of lower minds, based upon you living out of your programming and conditioning and your ego personality. So right now in this moment, make my goal. Coach, my goal is to become the most confident version of me. My goal is to become the strongest version of me. My goal is to become a reflection of unconditional love, because if I can't even give myself what I'm already in possession of, man, I'm in trouble. You don't have to go anywhere to give yourself those things. You've got to set some things down, which means that I have to be. Happiness means that everything in your life is true, accurate, and real. See, you got to understand, happiness is a bad boy. He doesn't like to share his time or space with anything else. Every single thing in your life, in order for happiness to be your roommate, every single thing in your life has to be true, accurate, and real. There can be no falsehoods. There can be no illusions. There can be no stories that you've created about this person that you've added to your life that doesn't align with the reality of who they are. No more storytelling. Everything in your life has to be true, accurate, and real, and happiness will be your roommate forever. But the moment that you allow your illusions to dominate the moment, happiness is gone. The moment that you start creating stories about people's potential, happiness is gone. The moment that you shrink in the moment and you don't speak your truth because you're trying to hang on to some person, happiness is like, I'm out. You got time for this? You don't even love yourself. That's what, if happiness could speak, that's what it would tell you. In order for happiness to be in your life, everything has to be true, accurate, and real. And if happiness is not in your life right now, it's because you got some falsehoods in your life. It's because you're living out of some illusion, some fantasy about some life that you want with some person that's not in alignment with who they really are. And you saw the red flags and you see the red flags. And the version of yourself that we need to remove is the version of yourself that saw the red flags and overlooked the red flag. That's who we need to remove. Because every red flag that you ignore will be the very red flag that'll cause the relationship to end. All of them. Every red flag that you see, you were looking at your future right then. You just didn't know that was what was happening to you. God was showing you your future through the red flag. You saw it, but you ignored it. Why? Because your desire was stronger. The experience that you wanted to have with this person was stronger than the red flag that you saw in that moment. So you bypassed the red flag. You overlooked the red flag and you started paying closer attention to potential. Potential became the third party in the relationship. So there was you, the person, and potential all in the relationship at the same time. I'm telling you. There are more people in a relationship with potential than they are with the person that they think is their partner. You dating potential. You ain't even dating a person. You're dating the version of them that only exists in your mind, not in reality. If the person can see the version of themselves that you created in your mind, they'd be like, damn, I want to be that person too. And you're projecting that onto the person. That's not even who they are. It's only who they pretend to be. They created a version of themselves that they pretended to be in the beginning, and you created a story around that. And then the person started to slowly come back down to earth and slowly start to be the person that they really are. But you have already created the story based on the trailer that they gave you in the beginning of the movie. You bought the trailer, not the movie. The movie is who the person really is. The trailer was just the highlight reel. So they gave you the highlight reel. You created a story around that, and that story lives in your mind. And every time you look at that person, you project the story onto them. That's how we see people, through their potential and not through the reality of who they really are. We buy trailers. We don't buy movies. That's the problem. Because we don't give ourselves enough time to see the movie, because we're always operating out of our desires. We're always operating out of need. We're always operating out of I'm lonely and I'm bored and all of those things. And we're so quick to throw people into our lives, even though people are mistake-making machines. That's what we do. And when you're operating out of lower minds, what a person is normally loyal to is they're loyal to the opportunity that's in front of them at that time, not to you. When that person saw you, there was something that they needed in that moment, and they thought that you could fill that need, whether that was pleasure, whether that was, I don't have to be bored anymore. I want to experience this person. I want to take this person and put them in some cage, like there's some bird or something, so that I can look at this person and keep them from anyone else being able to have access to them. I'm telling you, people, and you got to start understanding people and how people are really looking at you. Some people are loyal to you, and some people are loyal to their need of you, and you won't know the difference in that moment. I'm telling you. All right. I'm telling you, some people are loyal to you, and some people are loyal to their need of you. Crazy, but true. Universal truth. Universal truth. Nah, you just need awareness. See, I like that though. So where that person gonna say something about the actions, words versus actions. Because that's what we should do, right? You guys, we should pay closer attention to the actions, right? Instead of versus somebody's words and all of those things like that, right? We should be paying closer attention to the actions, right? Who agrees with that? And we should be paying closer attention to the actions and not the words. Who agrees? Okay, Jan, I see you. I see you. Teacup, I see you. Because actions speak louder than words. I'm telling you, right? Actions speak louder than words, right? Type yes in the comments real quick if you agree that actions speak louder than words. Type yes in the comments if you agree that actions speak louder than words. Type yes. Let me see how many yeses I get. 70 yeses. Ooh, that was a super yes. That was a yes on steroids. Mama Jones, I saw your little yes. Mama Jones hit me with a hell yeah, coach. Mama Jones hit me with the hell yeah, coach. All of you guys are in trouble. Y'all all going to a self-awareness jail. We're going to create a place called self-awareness jail, and all of you guys got a life sentence right there. You're going to self-awareness jail. I'm going to have Judge Judy. She's going to be handing out the sentences. Come here, sir. Just a second. You're all wrong. Turn ahead, yeah, I caught you too. I normally don't catch you turn ahead. You so sharp. I caught you too. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I had to trick you because some of you guys are so sharp. I got to trick you. Got him. Yeah, look at it. Come on, we got him. We got some, coach. We got some. No, absolutely not. That's lower mind. That's lower mind. When people who say, let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. Words are not the truth. And I know that JJ, I remember a long time ago, man, it's just to show you how my memory works and how honored I am with respect to the self-awareness. This was something that JJ struggled with. But words are not the truth, right? Words only point us in the direction of truth. Okay, it's very important that we understand that. No one in the history of your life has ever told you the truth, because the truth is something that can only be experienced. So if I had some experience and you weren't there, I had this experience, okay? When I come and tell you about the experience, I'm not giving you the truth. I'm giving you something that's reflective of what I experienced. But when I tell you whatever it is I'm telling you about my experience, you don't have what I have. You don't get the experience. You only get the words that are reflective of the experience. And it's important that we understand that. That's the first thing you learn in self-awareness. So when a person is pounding their chest, I'm telling you the truth, they're not telling you anything. They're only telling you their version of what happened. Okay, if you didn't experience it yourself, you did not get the truth. You got words that were reflective of an experience that they had, not you. Okay, that's number one. That's number one. Number two, I appreciate that. Number two. So when you say the action, so now we've disqualified words, right? So now that's the whole, trust a person's actions over the words. Okay, well, now let's dismiss the action part. I already gave you the words. Now we understand that. Now let's talk about the actions part. My actions don't reflect the truth. My actions don't reflect how I really feel about you at all. And in fact, I can make the argument that my actions are 10 times worse than my words. I'm gonna give you an example of that. Let's say we both work at McDonald's. We work the night shift. It's time to close up. It's pouring down rain outside. Your significant other was supposed to pick you up, but for whatever the reason, they didn't show up. We live on the opposite side of town. I live on one side, you live on the other, okay? And I see you. The manager is closing up the shop. They're like, you guys gotta go. You can't stay in here, you gotta go. So you're outside pouring down rain. I'm the only one that has a car. And I ask you in that moment, do you need a ride? Now in that moment, I'm tired. I don't wanna take you all the way to the other side of town. I don't wanna do it. But it's dark outside. There's no one else out here. So in that moment, I ask you, and I'm hoping you say no. I'm hoping you say no. But you say yes. And you get in the car. And the entire time that I'm driving you home, I'm going to war against my own mind because I'm pissed off that I got to go and drive you home. My actions in that moment, if someone were a third party and they were looking at me, they would say, he's being a nice guy. He's giving her a ride home. He's giving him a ride home. But my internal state of being is not reflective of my external state of being. What I'm doing in that moment is not what I feel. I'm doing something out of obligation. I'm doing something that I really don't want to do. My heart was saying no, but my lips said yes. And in your mind, you're like, oh man, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. But in my mind, I'm like, I won't ever ask you for this again. That's what's happening. So many people that you encounter are doing the act, and the act will make you think that that's what they want to do, but internally, it's not what they want to do in that moment. This is no different than charity. Most people go to these charitable events and all of these other things because they don't want to feel the guilt. They don't want to feel the shame. That's why when most people, when you pull up to a stoplight and that homeless man comes over and asks for people for change or whatever they have, most people will give it, but it wasn't really what they wanted to do in that moment. To the homeless person, it looks like they're doing some act of kindness, or to the person in the other car, but internally, it wasn't what the internal state was not in alignment with the external action. That's the point not to be missed. So when you say are you is your internal state of being in alignment with what's happening externally? For most people, it's not. A lot of people, here goes another one that I know you're going to connect with. A lot of people are in relationships right now, and you really don't want to be in the relationship. You're 100% in it physically, but energetically and emotionally, you're not. So if another couple comes over to hang out with you guys, you're pretending to have it all together and pretending to be happy and pretending to be this super couple and all of these other things like that. But mentally and emotionally, you don't feel that way. That's the point not to be missed. And it's happening right now. There's some people on this live right now. Well, that's what's going on with you, right? So again, all of that actions speak louder than words. Stop listening to people who say that. Stop listening to people who say that. You have to, when you become self-aware, you'll be able to read the energy. The energy in that moment will tell you that that person didn't want to do that thing for you, that they said yes to, even though their heart said no to. That's the point not to be missed. Does that make sense? Everybody caught that? Some of you guys, I hope you caught the paradigm shift on that. Some people are saying yes to you in that moment when they really don't want to do whatever it is you asking them to do. Whether it's to give you a ride to the store, take you to the gas station, take you over here. Can you take me to the mall real quick? Yeah, I'll take you. But they really don't want to. And when you lack self-awareness, you didn't read the energy in that moment. That person's energy told you, I don't want to do this. Their words said yes, but their energy said no, and you missed it. That part right there, they felt obligated. I'd rather walk on broken glass than to have you do something for me that you really don't want to do. I'd rather walk home. I would rather walk home in the rain. I would rather walk home than to have you do something for me that you really don't want to do. That's called self-respect. I would rather walk home, barefoot and all, cold and all. I would rather walk home. I'd rather walk on broken glass than to stay in a situation where someone is doing something for me and they really don't want to do it. I'd rather walk home. I'm telling you, that's how I move. And I'm going to take all of that energy as I'm walking home. Let me tell you what I'm going to be doing. As I'm walking home in that moment, oh, it's going to be beautiful because I'm going to war against me. I'm going to be pissed off at me, not at you. I'm going to be pissed off at me that I don't have a car. I'm going to be pissed off at me that I have to place expectations on other people to come and pick me up. I'm going to be pissed off at me that I'm not putting in the work and I'm not developing a growth mindset and I'm not transforming myself so where that I no longer have to rely on other people to do things for me. I'm going to war against me. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going to transmute that energy that I want all of the rain. I'm telling God, pour all of the rain on me right now. Give me all of the rain. Pour it all on me. I want to be cold. I want to be everything right now so I can take that energy and get my behind in gear so that I never have to position myself to ask another person in history to do anything for me. That's what I would do. So I'm going to enjoy that walk home. I'm going to put the umbrella away and everything. I don't want the umbrella. I don't want anything. I want to be drenched in water when I get home. And I need to sit there with myself. And I need to ask myself, why are you even in this position to begin with where you got to start placing all these expectations on other people and all of that? That's how I move. So whether it comes to relationships, now don't stay in no relationship with me because no, I need you to remove yourself immediately so that I can start working on me, so that I can make sure that I transform myself into something that another person can never walk away from. I'm hitting the gym, I'm going to do boxing, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to get me a mentor, I'm going to get an accountability partner, and the next time that person sees me, I'm going to be so cold and so powerful. They're going to beg me back. They're going to beg just to have coffee with me. That's how I move. You have to learn how to transmute the negative energy that's happening in your life. You got to learn how to do that. Wherever you fall short in life, whatever you're missing in life, whatever you don't have, transmute that energy and use that as the catalyst to become the greatest version of yourself. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's how you do it. All right. Let me get my butt out of here. Real quick, type me in the comments real fast if you are not a part of my Mindset Masters community. This is not the Mindset Masters community. Let me see how many people I got on here real quick. Type me in the comments, type me's. Oh, a lot of me's, 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 a lot of me's. So real quick, For those of you guys that don't know, my name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness and self-mastery for over 2 decades now, just helping people to become the most powerful versions of themselves. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? This book is a bestseller. It's a game changer. The book is powerful, and if you haven't read the book, it's that thing. But the point not to be missed is this. My partners and I have created a community called Mindset Masters, and Mindset Masters is everything that you witnessed here on this live stream. It's just about becoming the greatest, strongest, and most powerful version of yourself. It's about understanding that you are both the problem and the solution to your own life. You are both a masterpiece and a work in progress. It's time for you you're already, the version of you that God created is already the masterpiece, but we have to take our mindset up to masterpiece level. And when your mindset is at masterpiece level, coupled with the masterpiece that you already are, you become creative force in that moment. We spend so much time chasing people and adding people to our lives and chasing careers and chasing all of these things, but we never chase ourselves. And when you don't chase yourself and you don't master your mind, your brain is on autopilot. You are the creator of all that you experience. You are the creator of the negative feelings. You are the creator of the problems. You are the creator of the depression and the unhappiness and all of those things. You are the creator of it all. Everything that you experience in life, you are creating and manifesting based on the frequency that you are vibrating from. And it's so important that you understand that. And that's what self-awareness is going to do. It's going to take you from being the problem in your life to being the solution. How am I the problem, coach? You're the problem because you don't understand that reality is neutral. And that when you in reality intersect, no matter what the situation or circumstance is, you give meaning to that particular thing, or you create some story around what's happening in your life in that moment. And it's from that story and it's from the meaning that you attach to that situation that creates and produces all of your feelings, be it positive or negative. You give something a positive meaning, you're going to experience positive feelings. You give something a negative meaning, you're going to experience negative feelings. But the point not to be missed is that you're the creator of the experience. You are the experience. Life is not the experience. You become the experience when you intersect with life. And it's so important that you understand that. So all of the problems you're creating, the unhappiness you're creating, the depression you're creating, the fear, which is a big one. Because fear is that thing that keeps most of us stuck. Fear is that thing that just stops most of us from leaving the toxic relationship and from leaving the job and from leaving all of those things. But you have to understand that fear is just you projecting your programming and conditioning onto the present moment. So I'm going to teach you how to master fear so that you can become fearless. Fearless is the easiest thing to become, especially once you change your relationship with fear. So if you are ready to, and another thing, last thing before I wrap this up, all of my live streams are archived inside of the community. I've got a podcast. It's fire inside of the community. I write things on self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, emotional intelligence inside the community multiple times a day. It's humanly impossible for you to not become the most powerful version of yourself in this community. And the only thing that you have to bring is desire. Desire is what connects you from where you are to where you want to be. Desire is the thing that's stopping you from becoming the most powerful version of yourself, because most people just don't have the passion and desire to do it because, again, we're too busy operating out of lower mind. So if you are ready to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful version of yourself, get me as your mentor, get me as your accountability partner, and you're going to get me as your life coach, as well as you're going to get another coach and an executive coach. And the combination of that package is just, I don't know how you don't become the most powerful version of yourself. I really don't, unless you just don't put in the work. And then no one could help you if you do, though, right? If you don't put in the work, then no one could have helped you. It doesn't matter who it was. You get all of that for less than $1 a day, literally. It's $29 a month, no contracts, no obligations. And we priced it at that. Let me tell you why we priced it there. And I wanted to make this as cheap as I possibly could. You can't get less than $1 a day. I mean, that's almost disrespectful for what you get. Because with awareness, it's about how do we change the world? the coaches that are a part of this and the people that are a part of this community, we have an obsession with trying to figure out how we bring awareness to the world on a grand scale. So we wanted to price it where the kid at McDonald's could afford it, the college student could afford it, the stay-at-home mom could afford it. We wanted to take all of the excuses out of it. Yeah, we could have made it, put some premium price where only celebrities and different things, because a lot of our clients are celebrities. We could have done that, but we don't change the world that way. Our focus and our mission and our passion is to change the world, and we're doing it. We've already helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people transform. We've got over 220 now people that have become life coaches now, and authors and speakers, and that are taking public speaking things, content creators now, things that they weren't doing before they met us. That's how powerful the information is that we teach. And I go live inside of the community every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We do exclusive live streams inside of the community. We did one last night that was fire. This one was good today. It was 10% of what last night's was. I'm just being honest with you. It was powerful. So we do that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday inside the community as well. And it's just an exclusive community of growth-minded individuals. One thing you got to understand, thank you, Nikki, thank you, Mama. One thing that you guys have to understand is that when you're starting on this journey, now let me just say this to you, because whether you join a community or not, you need to understand this. When you're starting the journey of self-awareness, or you're really trying to transform yourself, your environment is important. You have to have a place, and let me tell you why, because your calling, your significant other may not have a calling. They may not have a calling. The calling may just be in you. It may not be on that person. You got to understand that there are certain people that are on God's practice team, and there are certain people that are His chosen one. The people who are on the practice team are important because they're the ones that help the chosen ones become unlocked, right? So it's important that you understand that. You got two different type of people walking around. People that are on that practice team and people that are God's chosen ones. You may be His chosen one, but your partner may be on that practice team. And I'm going to tell you how you'll know. Well, how would I know that, Coach? Because you'll try to introduce the awareness to them. You'll try to say, come on, let's read this book on self-awareness or emotional intelligence, and they'll reject it. They won't want to be a part of it. They won't connect with it, right? They'll hear you and they'll do it because they love you in that moment, but it didn't hit them like it hit you. That's how you'll know. And no matter how much you talk to them about it and how much you push it on them, they just won't take to it like you do. So it's important that you understand that. That's why this community is important, because you get an opportunity to be around people that all are becoming transformed and like-minded individuals, and that are spiritually aligned, and they're becoming the greatest, strongest, most powerful version of themselves. And you have a community of people that are dedicated to helping you where you are in your journey, whether you at the top or you at the bottom of that mountain. We're all about the community. We're all about love and support. So, but again, this community is for the chosen ones. If you don't think you're a chosen one, don't even spend your money. Don't even waste your money signing up in the community. And I'm saying that, I'd rather you save that money to do whatever it is else you want to do with it. But if you're ready to become the most powerful version of yourself, just type me in the comments right now. If you are really ready for that transformation, and again, because like I said, again, the combination of us both becomes creative force, right? I'm going to give you all the information that you need. You apply the information. The combination creates that third thing, and that's where it becomes powerful. But just go to my link in bio. What you guys can do is just go to my link in bio, and you'll see where you're supposed to sign up. And it's right underneath. You'll see the arrows pointing down and all of these other things like that, and you'll see where you're supposed to sign up, and then you guys are good to go. Just get signed up, put your first and last name in. Jordan Williams. So you got, and here's the book one more time. You guys take a screenshot of it, and you can get the book on Amazon. But if you get signed up inside of the community today, I'll give you a free copy of the book today. So if you get signed up in the community today, you'll get a free copy of this book. And it'll be in ebook format. Okay? You get signed up today, you get a free copy of the book. It'll be in ebook format. Let me tell you guys what you're going to have to do. Once you get inside of the community, not here, don't sign up on TikTok. TikTok is not the platform. Once you get inside of the community, send me your first name, last name, and your email address, and you'll have a copy of this book by the end of the business day. Okay? Send me a copy, first name, last name, and your email address. And you'll have you'll receive a copy of the book today. Yeah, absolutely, Marianne, absolutely. So you go to my link in bio. Okay, awesome. You just signed up. Yeah, go to my link in bio and you'll see it there. You'll see the arrows. It'll say sign up here, and it'll say Mindset Masters Co. Sign up here. It'll say Mindset Masters Co. You'll see all of the arrows pointing down. You can't miss it. Just go to my homepage. You can't miss it. And then you get signed up, send me your first and last name. I'll get you a copy of the book today. You'll have it by the end of the business day. And then you guys will be set. And the book is important because the whole community is about self-awareness, right? So subscribe, yeah, but please don't subscribe to TikTok. Whatever you do, please. So many people make the mistake of signing up to TikTok, and then I got to go through this whole process of getting them refunded. Just go to my homepage, and you'll see where all of the arrows where it's saying sign up here, and just click the link, and it'll take you to the sign up page. Yeah, it's available everywhere. It doesn't matter what country you're in. But that's a great question. I'm glad you threw that out there. It's available everywhere. It doesn't matter. We got people from all over the world in this community. And then once you get signed up inside of the community, the second step is to go to your app store and just download the Mighty Networks app. It's free. Once you download the Mighty Networks app, and then you got the app, and then you guys are ready to go. Thank you guys so much. Are there any more? If we sign up, Selena, I'm sorry. I don't know if I missed the first half of your. You mean the live streams, Selena? Are you talking about the live streams? I apologize. I apologize, Selena. I'm not. Yeah, so the live streams are inside of the community already. And then, so my live streams are archived inside of the community. All of them. There's so many. It's crazy, like a ridiculous amount of live streams. But I go live like I am now inside of the community every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So once you get inside the community, you're going to gain access to my live streams. You're going to gain access to the podcast. You're going to gain access to A-Town. What's up, my brother? You're going to gain, so the live streams, the podcast, like all of my live streams are inside of they're archived in there under. So when you go to the, but what we're going to do, Selena, we're going to send you a welcome packet. And then the welcome packet will tell you where everything is in the community. Plus, I've got some other people that are inside of the community that are just like pillars of the community. And they'll probably reach out to you as well just to kind of tell you where everything is. I probably won't go live inside of the community tomorrow only because it's the 4th of July. And I know I don't want to break up anyone's family time or anything like that. Yeah, Lynetta, reach out to her once she gets inside of the community if you could.